For Monday, we are going to work in our spreadsheet here. We have some student names on the left. We're followed with, these are their grades. We got student average and directions. So again, things that they're going to ask us to do using the borders function. So go ahead and do that. They're going to talk about adding a column. So we have columns B, C, and D with exam 3, 1 through 3, student average. It says add a column between exam 3 and student average. How we do this is when we insert a column, it'll come, we want it to go in between here. Okay, so if we want it to, it'll go in front of where we do this. So if you go up to insert and you go to column, it'll go in front of exam 3. But this says add a column between exam 3 and student average. So how do you do it? If you make a mistake or you mess up, you can go here to delete column that's highlighted, or you can just, if it just happened, just go like that. So it will go inserting a column before. If your cursor's on E, it'll go in front of before or prior. And that's where you'll do exam 4. And then you'll insert this data. I'm not going to do that because it'll take a little bit of time. They're going to ask you to auto sum down. They're going to ask you to do a formula. When you do an auto sum, you see the formula there, right? Equals sum. Equals tells Excel that you have a formula. Sum means it's auto summed. And then the range, B4 through B9. Same would be with the average. If you were to do the average, so this is 94. So I would do equals, and I can click A, and then the average pops up. And I highlight the range. So it tells the Excel equals is the formula, average. You can type it out if you don't want to click on it. And then the range, you just highlighted that range. And remember, you can copy it down, but I'm not putting those numbers in. The same would be true down here. So you can do the same. Equals average, highlight down. Again, and you'll just have to, over repetition and doing it, you'll have to make sure it says equals average and the range of parentheses with the semicolon going through there. Okay. Highest formula means max. So equals, and it is the highest number in this range. And you close parentheses. One of the things we got to do here is take that range and make it only through B9. I apologize. So when I'm doing this, equals average only through B9. Then the lowest will be equals min, because it's the smallest number. We're not using the exam total number. And then you can obviously copy those over. We haven't gotten to these because I didn't input that, trying to give it less time for you to listen to me. It tells us to put 2 decimal points somewhere here. It tells us to use the borders function again. It'll tell you to change colors of things here. So the row with the Excel exam, change that text to blue if it did it. Change this text to green and change this text to red. And then again, you'll put this information in. It tells us here to delete row 11. So you have this row 11. So as long as your cursor's in that row, the old way was clicking on it, so that's my habit, but you need to make sure your cursor's where you actually want it, and you can go up to delete row and get rid of that row. You want to make all the numbers 2 decimal places like we talked about. And then it says here to sort the names alphabetically. Okay, so one of the things we do is we like to sort by the names, but we also want Carson's scores to go with him. And we want Forbes scores to go and Burns scores to go so that we don't have just moving the names. So often what you do, and sometimes you have to play around, but often what we do is highlight the headings. There's a variety of different ways to do sorting. You can go over here and just click on sort. Or you can go the old way is an easy way. You just go data sort, but this box shows up either way. And then it says sort by, and then you have this column area. So we want to sort by student. The values we leave the same. We don't mess with that. And then the order A to Z means alphabetically from the A to Z. We are going to sort by student. So when we hit OK, we should see Burns move to the top, Carson with everything moving down. All these numbers will stay the same, obviously, but the student and their exams will switch orders. And there you go. Their names are in alphabetical order. Carson's stuff moved down, so did Burns. Forbes moved up. Everything's in order. So hopefully you will be able to, and again, I didn't finish it all just to try to make it quicker. But hopefully that makes sense. And that's a great way for us to practice still auto summing, doing the student average, adding a column, deleting a row, changing text colors, doing a max formula, getting the highest number that is in that list. Now, again, this is a small list, but it's good for us to see. The lowest grade number, the min. If you had a list of 25, maybe you don't want to look through it, or you have a list of 30 or 50, or you don't want to look through it. Here you can probably see it pretty easy, but this formula is helpful. Equals min in the range, equals max in the range, equals average in the range. So I hope that makes sense, and it's